Hello, friend, and welcome back to Torches Yoga and Mindfulness. I'm Lauren, and I'll be your coach. So, last week we talked about how awareness disrupts our autopilot so we can live more intentionally and fully. This week, we're going to see how compassion disrupts our impulse to act on our automatic judgments about ourselves and about others, inviting us to pause, understand, and respond with care. Compassion is our innate ability to feel, understand, and want to alleviate the suffering in ourselves and others when we understand our interbeing. And compassion as a practice transforms our default habits of judging and avoiding into seeking understanding. Compassion and empathy can easily be confused. While with empathy, we feel the suffering with another, compassion takes it a step further, where we want to alleviate that suffering. Now, for sympathy is when we notice the pain and the suffering in another, but we're probably distancing ourselves, trying to avoid it because their struggle, their pain makes us uncomfortable. And we're more inclined to only act out of pity. And if we're giving pity, then we're casting judgment. Compassion isn't just a feeling, it's something more active. According to research by Dr. Paul Gilbert and others in compassion-focused therapy, compassion has 5 components. And the first is awareness of suffering, noticing that pain and that suffering, whether it's in ourselves or in someone else. Number 2 is feeling emotionally moved, allowing ourselves to be touched by that suffering. And number 3 is understanding that suffering is a shared human experience. Everyone that has taken a breath and everyone that will take a breath has experienced or will experience suffering in some form in their lives. Component number 4 is tolerating uncomfortable feelings. When we choose to stay present instead of avoiding or analyzing or trying to push it away and rush past it, just being present with those uncomfortable feelings. And finally, component number 5 is taking action to alleviate that suffering. This could look like just sitting with somebody or listening or offering a kind gesture or a helping hand. So awareness taught us to notice our thoughts, our emotions, and our patterns. But noticing without kindness can leave us feeling kind of detached from ourselves and from our experience. By bringing in compassion, we're able to respond to what we notice with care. If we hope to extend compassion out into the world, it first has to start with ourselves. When we notice a hurt in ourselves, like if we get activated by a stressful interaction, if we take a pause to just notice it, not analyze it, not try to fix it, not judge it, just to sit with the upset, we create space so that feeling and those thoughts can move on quicker without lingering and us being left to identify with them. A great practice we always have available to us to practice self-compassion is compassionate self-touch. Compassionate self-touch can look like many different things, and there is no wrong way to do it as long as you feel comfortable and connected. So you'll take a gentle hand, place it over your heart, maybe over your abdomen. Maybe it feels nice to give yourself a hug, anywhere that feels relaxing, comforting, and connected. And then we can even take it up a notch with the compassion by adding a few kind words of reassurance to ourselves. I choose to be kind to myself in this moment, where these emotions are a welcome part of this experience. A compassionate self-touch and a few kind words from ourselves actually triggers our body's calming system, our parasympathetic nervous system, and that tells our body that we're okay, we're safe. Another exercise we can use to practice self-compassion is with a micro-loving kindness pause. And we can practice this anywhere, whether you're waiting in line, in traffic, or doing chores, trying to drift off to sleep at night. So to practice a microdose of loving kindness, take a nice deep breath, and you'll tell yourself, may I give myself the care I need. May I choose to be kind to myself in this moment. This isn't about forcing positivity. It's about gently redirecting our inner voice to use kindness. And studies show that loving kindness practices like this reduce our reactivity and increase our emotional resilience. We don't need to sit for 30 minutes of meditation every day or do yoga and Tai Chi every day. We just need a moment with intention. And the final practice I have for us today is the good enough practice. Our world celebrates doing more, being better, pushing harder. But compassion says, what if what I did today was enough? So at the end of your day, when you're winding down, instead of asking yourself, did I get everything done? Instead, ask yourself, did I show up today as best as I could? And if the answer is yes to that, even if it's a hesitant and unsure yes, then tell yourself, we've done enough. We don't have to chase perfection, and compassion creates space for growth without the burnout. When we cultivate compassion in ourselves, we can more freely give it to others. When we're able to recognize and see our own pain and suffering without judgment, it's easier to see others through that same gentle lens. Compassion in community is more than just a kind gesture. It's more than holding the door open. It's about holding space. It's about noticing that the person in front of you, just like you, has their own struggles, pains, fears, and griefs. Instead of looking at them with judgment, we begin to see their suffering as a shared part of the human experience. And with compassion, we stop asking what's wrong with them and start asking what might they be carrying with them today. Sometimes compassion looks like offering help. Sometimes it looks like speaking up or hearing someone out. Sometimes it looks like just being present so someone else knows they're not alone. And this kind of presence, it ripples outward. When we meet somebody with compassion and kindness, it creates space for a connection and understanding. And when we show up with this energy regularly, we become part of creating a compassionate culture, one interaction at a time. As we continue to build our mindfulness skills, compassion becomes the foundation for what comes next: curiosity. When we approach someone with compassion, we create that safety that's needed to ask the deeper questions without fear or shame. Curiosity thrives in a compassionate environment. So, as we close out today's mindfulness session, let's pause for a brief compassion exercise that you can carry with you throughout your day. If you're in a place where it's safe and you're comfortable to close your eyes, go ahead and do so. If not, you can just soften your gaze or bring your attention inward. As you close your eyes, take a nice deep breath and sigh it out through the mouth. And bring to mind someone you care about. This could be yourself or a friend, a loved one, family. And then say, whether silently or out loud, may you be kind to yourself in this moment. May you feel supported and safe. May you know that you are not alone. Take another deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine this wish rippling out, spreading through your home, the space you're in now, out into your neighborhood, out into the community. If you closed your eyes, go ahead and open them back up. Come back to this space with us. Friend, let this be your practice to meet yourself and the world, not with judgment, but with gentle awareness and a desire to care. When we approach with kindness, we seek to understand instead of judge. My friends, stay present, stay kind to yourself, and I'll see you soon.